I made a world with absolutely nothing and only enabled tumbleweeds to see how hard it could be to survive 100 days. And this is exactly what happened. So yeah, enjoy. Day 1. Now I start off with nothing but a pile of balloons and enough hunger to last us one day. So the first thing I need to do is find something to eat. There's almost nothing in this world besides some set pieces and permanent items like Chester.
Chester, hello.
Of course, I would never eat Chester. So I keep walking to see if I can find any lucky set pieces that might have spawned by accident when I stumbled upon a wormhole.
Wormhole, let's go. Take me to the desert, desert.
Now, if there's anything I've learned from history, it's that unnatural holes in the ground are usually a sign of long life and prosperity. Anyways, I came up on a birch biome pretty far from spawn, and there wasn't really much laying around, so I just kept walking for a bit, and then I saw it. A swamp. This is great, because in case you're not a fish main, swamps are usually some of the deadliest biomes in the surface, covered in tentacles, spiders, and even Walmart Shrek. But for some reason, swamps also have a really high chance of hiding the desert on the other side, and deserts equal tumbleweeds, which equal happiness, which equal no eating Chester. Yet. I was very excited for this, so I started running to the other side to see if I could get my hands on some tumbleweeds this soon, and it wasn't here. But just as I was looking for something to cook Chester with, I actually found it.
And now we have the desert.
And after picking a couple tumbleweeds, I not only got some food and materials to make a torch, but right next to it was a spider quarry.
Spider quarry, yes.
Wow, I can't believe our luck right now. Yeah, about that. You see, spiders aren't really supposed to be here. When I first started this challenge, I thought I had turned everything completely off and spider dens, like other set pieces, had just spawned by accident. But then I realized I might have accidentally left them on a little bit. I mean, you could always have a friend drop off the nest for you and then replant them in your base, but this is a lot more interesting. So thankfully I found the desert before the spiders, and so I'm able to hit them with a torch, light them on fire, and get some very nice cooked monster meat that will only deal 3 damage instead of 20. And after teasing Charlie with our new torch, we made it past our first night, day 2. Now our next goal is to make a science machine. In a normal world, this would be pretty simple, just simply having to cut down 2 trees, mine 2 rocks, and bing bam boom, we're done. But in this world, neither of those things exist. So to make a science machine, things are gonna get a bit more interesting. Gold was the easy part since there was just plenty laying around the spider quarry yesterday, so all I need now is wood and stone. Stone is my first objective, since to get stone all I need to do is find a set piece with a pickaxe and then mine some of the many cave entrances around the world. However, we will need to do a lot of exploring since I have not the slightest idea where this set piece could be. I spent most of the day picking all the tumbleweeds I can find and getting as much food as I can carry, because just like this oasis set piece, the pickaxe will be like finding a rook nose in the ocean. But with my grass hat on my head and my emergency food by my side, I think I'm ready for the trip. Day 3. Well, this trip is going horrible. I had only started walking down the swamp and we were making great progress, exploring the edges of the map and holding back my urges to eat Chester pretty well. However, for some reason, the desert really didn't want us to go.
Take me to somewhere where the grass is green. What? Dude, are you kidding me? This freaking wormhole is garbage.
Still, I wasn't about to give up, and I decided I might as well check the upper part of the map before I head back down to spawn the next few days. Only problem was our food situation was starting to get really low very quickly, and Chester was starting to look more and more appetizing. But thankfully for Chester, I stumbled upon a couple spiders that sacrificed themselves to be cooked up instead of Chester, keeping him out of my stomach for one more day. Day 4. Well, maybe I should have ate Chester. I finished exploring the north part of the map, and unfortunately nothing was hiding there besides a spider den, a cave entrances, and a Winona main. Yeah, nothing useful. I made it all the way back to the Dragonfly Desert, so I took the time to pick some tumbleweed to get any kind of healing because the monster meat we've been eating was really starting to take a toll on us. However, worst of all, our hunger was reaching critical levels, and with tumbleweeds giving us nothing useful, I had to run.
Dark petals.
My last hope for survival was spider glands from punching spiders to death, but doing this meant any monster meat we would get would be raw and take even more health to eat it, leaving us in a lose-lose situation. I was only able to get a single spider gland and was really contemplating just skinning Chester and making a kebab right here. But right in the middle of the swamp was the pickaxe I'd been looking for, so I had to make this work. And as the night rolled around and I ate my last piece of cooked monster meat, it was all down to this. Day 5. Well, I'm still alive. After wandering around the birch biome, I was trying to get my hands on a spider gland, but being so distracted by my hunger, I literally walked past the one thing that could have saved everything. I started farming a spider den right outside the clearing, but things were not looking good.
If you give me a healing salve, I will live forever.
It was almost over, with just seconds left before starving, but as I finished the den, I had a single thought that saved this entire run.
I'm thinking this might be the Mandrake Forest.
And as I turned around to check my theory, I found not one, but 2 entire mandrakes.
Good night.
That was close, but still mandrakes are very limited, and 2 of them are not gonna keep us alive forever, so now I need to get that wood more than ever. Not only to make the science machine, but also because if I keep eating this raw monster meat, I will be back in this same boat in no time. And speaking of boats, it's time to make our own. Day 6. Well, so far so good. I've got the golden stone I need for the science machine, and I've also got everything I need to get the wood. Now to get the wood, we're gonna have to take a trip down to the ocean and find either a fig tree or the lunar island. Thankfully, through this entire trip of looking for the pickaxe and looking for something not to starve to death with, I've been able to map out one entire side of the map and pretty closely narrow down the location of the lunar island. So after very sadly eating my beloved seed collection and dreaming about how I'm going to cook up all my monster meat while taunting Charlie some more, it was finally time. Day 7. Now, since grass is still very limited, I only have one shot at this, and also only the time it takes for one grass raft to sink. So the sooner I find it, the better, because our food situation is still raw monster meat. I made it landfall very quickly, finding the lunar islands almost immediately, but these weren't the right ones.
This is not the main island.
It would have been fine, but our hunger was only getting worse, pushing us to poison ourselves with the purple stuff and taking a big chunk of our health. But finally, I found the main island. I could still make it if I found the wood in time, but as I made wrong turn after wrong turn, my hunger was too low and my health not high enough, forcing me to eat the final mandrake. It sucked to eat our final safety net, but just moments later, I was finally able to find the wood we had wanted for so long.
Yes, we found the trees, guys.
And with the glass axe between the trees, I chopped them down, built the glorious science machine, and placed down a fire pit to cook up all our remaining monster meat, bringing us to the next chapter of this challenge, mid-game, day 8. Well, things are finally starting to look up. After chopping down most of the trees in the island, I made sure to catch all the moths I found in a bug net to take back home.
I'm so scared. Yo.
Now, for those that don't know, instead of dropping seeds or acorns, lunar trees will release moths that, working like butterflies, can be replanted when alive to get us some lunar trees. However, I had to be fast, because our grass raft had still been sinking through all of this, and with 3 grass left, if this thing breaks, we're not making it home to mom.
Go, 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 go. I don't have time. That boat's gonna break. That boat's gonna break.
I rode as fast as I could to make it back to the main island, and thankfully, I made it with just a second to spare, even finding Pearl's Island on the way.
Pearl. Oh, you're not that far.
But like always, we were not done yet, because our food situation was looking worse than ever. Day 10. So we're in the mid-game now. I spent most of my time farming spiders and heading back home without really exploring much of the map, because I accidentally left all my moth food on the boat. Ah, no, dude. Yo. And I don't think I have to explain that if our moths die, we will lose all our wood. Thankfully, I didn't take too long, and I made it all the way back home, planted our trees, and since we had been gone for a good while, all our spider nests had leveled up and we could finally get food again. Well, no. Although I left spider dens up too little, spiders are still set to none. And this makes things a bit weird, because spiders will not respawn unless the nest grows to the next tier, meaning I'm only able to farm every nest once every level. We were able to farm a lot of spiders, and now with our ability to craft a campfire, we could also kill all the spiders without burning the spider glands to gain back the health we lose from eating the meat. I just wish I would have paid more attention to my tool durability.
Wait, I don't have flint. Chester has the flint.
We got a lot of monster meat and just as many spider glands to pair with. However, our other materials were not looking as good, and let's not forget our science machine was still all the way back at the lunar island. So my next goal is to gather up some more basic materials, craft a fire pit to no longer waste grass, and also bring science home. Day 11. Now the most important materials I need are grass and sticks. So I spent the entire day picking tumbleweeds and collecting plenty of trinkets to trade for gold whenever we get to Pig King. This will be very important since most of the tools I will make later on will be gold to save on sticks. I finished farming all the spiders in the quarry afterwards, getting a good amount of monster meat, and now I can focus on stone. I mined most of the cave entrances in the surfaces, so instead of chasing down the last couple ones, it's time to take a trip down to the caves. Day 12. So these caves are freaking amazing. I was looking for stalagmites or any rocks near the entrance and thought I saw none at first, so I decided to go in a bit deeper in the cave to get a better look. But right in front of me was something even better.
Yes, bro. Yes.
Now, since this is a nothing world, unlike a normal village, bunny huts and bunnies will not spawn. But the carrots, on the other hand, those will be plenty. And so now with our new stack of carrots in hand, I mine a couple stalagmites, very dumbly waste more rocks than I have to spend, and after mining all the rocks in sight, I head back up to the surface with our fresh loot, and once I was up here, I realized I made a horrible mistake.
I left my axe down there.
Day 15. Well, it's safe to say we won't be eating Chester anymore. After farming some more spiders and eating some delicious carrots, I could finally put down our permanent fire pit, marking an end to wasted food and eating raw monster meat. I cooked up our remaining food, and with everything ready, I was able to head all the way back to spawn to get our final trip to the lunar island. Now, thankfully, I could place a raft close enough to pick up all the grass from the first boat, and with a couple of rows, I was back here once again. I had missed a couple stumps the first time since I was in such a hurry to get back home, but I had plenty of time now, and after refining some materials, I decided I might as well make an alchemy engine since making a hammer is a bit expensive with how grass stocks are doing right now. This also means I will have to leave our science machine here, but I wasted no time and instead started chopping down all the remaining trees as well as catching all the moths to make sure I can get back home and replant all the trees right under the base. And after placing down our alchemy engine, things are starting to look pretty nice. Day 16. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this world with nothing is starting to look pretty full. I dropped off most of the things I didn't need and crafted a top hat to make sure our sanity would at least rise a little bit in hopes of making a balloon, as well as wasting a bit of silk since I'll be breaking a lot of tier 3 nests very soon. Because if you remember, spiders will not respawn unless the nest upgrades, and once it's tier 3, I will need to replant it to repeat the cycle. This is pretty tough since it takes a lot of work and durability on my axe to chop down the spider nest. However, we have bigger problems I haven't even gotten to. Day 17. Now winter is fast approaching. With only 4 days, I need something to fight the cold. My first thought was, hey, what if I just drown myself right now? I don't know how that would have helped with the cold, but thankfully, I'm a man of many thoughts. So I decided to go ahead and try to get some beef of the wool from the tumbleweeds instead. I mostly just got grass and twigs though, but since night will also be getting a lot longer during winter, it's really not that bad. Although, I might not really need them because I have an even better way of making it through the night. Day 18. So now we have a miner's hat, a chest, a reliable way to get food, and even our loyal friends since day 1. Shut up, Chester. However, winter is just around the corner, and since I had no luck with the beefalo wool, I decided to just go to the good old thermal stone. The only problem is I'm out of rocks again. So back to the caves it is. Day 20. Well, I got those rocks and now we are winter ready. I put down some turf in the base to make it look a lot better, and then the happiest moment of my life was being able to make a speedy balloon again.
Yes, 10 sanity speedy balloon. Let's freaking go.
I mined another cave entrance and headed down to see if I could find any rocks laying around. Wait, this was amazing.
Oh no, oh my god, is it the muddy biome? No, it's not even connected, bro.
It took a bit of work getting there since the entrance was a lot farther than I thought, but when I got there, I was able to get enough stone to feed a small moleworm army. I think my only mistake was going up a different cave entrance.
Spiders, we're back at spawn. This is not good.
I would have stayed a lot longer, but I ran out of food pretty quickly, and since I know all the dens near the base have probably not upgraded yet, I made sure to kill all the spiders I came across on my way home, and the very next day, winter. Day 21. So winter is finally here. I started freezing a little on my way home, so I had to heat up at the magma ponds, but as soon as I made it home and passed the night, I crafted our thermostone, and we were ready to take on winter.
Thermostone.
Day 26. So it's day 22, and in the middle of this video, the new update adding the scrapbook happened.
Oh, that's so cool.
Where was this when I was learning the game?
Everything?
I really want to see what this thing looks like when it's full, so subscribe if you want to see that. Anyways, winter is a pretty slow season, and most of the day is covered by dawn and night, and I'm very limited to where I can go since our grass supply is very low and magma ponds are really the best way to warm up. Still, this didn't really stop us, because through the next couple of days, I gathered a lot of monster meat, discovered some more horrible sound effects.
That's so ugly, I don't like it.
And burnt down some trees for charcoal to put down a drying rack. Trying to remember why I put this down in the first place, but it really wasn't that good. I then went back to the set piece from earlier to try and get a pig head.
Look at Chester, he's a very yummy spider.
It got completely destroyed by the warrior spiders while Chester showed off his amazing kiting skills.
Yes, Chester, kite him.
Freaking show off. I haven't made a hammer yet since I'm out of rocks again, so I headed down another cave entrance and I found something even better.
Blue mushroom biome, oh my god. Oh, yes. Freaking love it.
But I was even more excited about what I knew was right around the corner.
But no guys, you guys don't even realize what I'm so happy about. You guys have no idea what I am so happy about. Let's freaking go. Wait, where are they? I missed it. It's not. What?
Too good to be true. Day 28. So winter is not too bad so far. Since rain isn't enabled, it never really snowed and the ground just looks boring. This was probably the worst part of the challenge. However, the cold was still very present and I had to waste a lot of grass to make sure I didn't freeze to death. Since unfortunately there's no light plants in the caves, this means the only real way to refuel our minus hat is using other fireflies. And since nights are a lot longer than ever, I had to spend even more grass making a bunch of bug nets to catch them all. Day 30. So at this point, grass is still probably one of the single most limiting items. Although tumbleweeds have a 40% chance of having grass in them, everything from fires to hammers take a lot of grass. However, making a hammer might be the best choice we have, because if you remember the set piece from earlier, all the walls in there are made of grass, and hammering every single one of these should get us more grass than we spend on getting it. And so after doing some quick maths, adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying, and using PEMDAS to find the square root of the equator, on day 30 we had more grass than we could ever dream of, as well as finally having that delicious pig skin. Wait, no, Wes, I don't think you can eat day 33. We've almost made it completely through winter, and day 31 is probably the happiest day ever, because after getting some wood in the base until night and heading down to Pig King, I was finally able to rescue little Glom Glom. Not to mention, I was also able to get a lot of fireflies for my miner's hat. The next few days were pretty normal, farming spiders, warming up by the magma ponds, and farming more spiders, trying to gather as much food as I could to go back down to the caves. Unfortunately, since this is a nothing world, no seasonal bosses will be spawning, and Deerclops, my beloved, will stay as a challenge for another world, which might honestly be for the best because I can hardly even kite these spiders. Day 36. So we've officially made it past winter. The nights were still very long and I was still taking some freezing damage, but I can finally leave the base without having to freeze every 5 seconds. Again, rain is turned off, so spring is really not that bad, but since very soon I'll be heading down to the most dangerous place in the world, I want to make sure if I die, I won't lose everything immediately. And of course, the only way to do this with no big meats is by having a life-giving amulet. Since I probably won't be able to make one due to the lack of bunnies besides rare ones in the tumbleweeds, my best option is to find one in the grave. But yeah, no luck in that. Day 39. Now first of all, let's take a moment to appreciate freezing damage is finally gone. And second of all, let's start preparing for summer. Now unlike winter, for summer I don't really have anything like a magma pond that can instantly cool me down. However, I do have a simple solution, and that's making Snow Chester. Now for those that don't know, Snow Chester is one of 3 variants of Chester that exist. Snow Chester pretty much works as a mobile icebox that you can use to rotate thermal stones and stay cool all winter long. But to make him, I first need to get 9 total blue gems, and after getting some more food for the road, the hunt begins. Day 40. Now, thanks to my laziness, I hadn't dug up any of the graveyards earlier, so I still had plenty of graves to dig.
Ghost.
However, all my digging only got us 3 more blue gems, and paired with the other 2 we already had, we are still missing 4 more gems. Since graves are the easiest way to get them, this made me go exploring the rest of the map to see if I could find any more gravestones. And I really don't know how I do it, but every time I'm looking for something important, I always seem to find something even better.
No way. Pig set piece, pig set piece, pig set piece, pig set piece, pig set piece.
Unfortunately, I am very dumb.
Oh my god, I just wasted freaking meat on that stupid pig.
It all worked out though.
Let's freaking go.
And after having flashbacks about the glorious days of Anastasius,
oh my god, he's just like Anastasius.
I made it all the way back home. However, I have to focus on the main task. I only have until day 51 to gather the rest of the blue gems because summer is almost here. And you're probably wondering, where am I supposed to get the rest of the blue gems if all the graves on the surface are dug? Well, day 43. Now, the only way to get blue gems I have in this world is by picking trinkets, which have already proved to be a bad idea with the beefalo wool, and also by mining stalagmites. Now, thankfully stalagmites are plenty, but blue gems have a very small drop rate, and so I started mining and mining and mining and mining, and I only got 1.
1 red gem and 1 blue gem, let's go.
Yeah, this took a while, and as day 51 got closer, I started worrying. Not only about running out of time, but our food and sticks were also starting to get very low. And at this point, I only needed 1 last gem, so I started mining like crazy, finishing an entire stalagmite biome and only having enough sticks to make a single flint pickaxe.
We've cleared this freaking area.
I thought I would never get that final gem, and with every single rock I mined, my pickaxe got closer and closer to breaking, and with 20 durability left, I finally got it.
We found it. We found it. We found it. We freaking got it. Let's go.
Day 49. So once again, home sweet home, our tumbleweeds were very happy to see us. I had all the gems for snow chesters, so I just had to sit pretty until then. However, with the help from the pig head we broke earlier and the other pig skins we got, we were able to finally build our own pig house for infinite handbags. I could not be happier right now, but then our piggy friend thought it would be a great idea to tank 20 spiders by himself.
You're gonna die. Don't you dare hit them in the nest. You are a freaking idiot.
Easy to say, it didn't really work out for him and I had to clean up the mess. But after seeing all the monster meat we cooked, it was hard to stay upset for long. And with his help, we were finally able to properly fight and make a nice juicy ham bat.
Come here, spiders. It's time to meet your maker.
I just wish I had something to do with all this silk. Seriously, if you're a Wember main and you're watching this, comment, what on earth do you do with all this silk? Day 50. So we've made it halfway through the challenge and let's just take a moment to appreciate how far we've come. Chester's graduation is tomorrow though, so after picking up some tumbleweeds with Chester behind us excited for his big day, things just kept getting better.
Mole worm.
Everyone say hi to Terrace the Terrorist, and we love Terrace. I mean, Terrace is such good luck, we even found an extra blue gem from a tumbleweed right after finding him. Thank you, Terrace, you are the best. Day 51. Well, Chester is dead. Bruh. But before you get mad, let me introduce No Chester.
Chester! Woo!
Gotcha. Day 53. So we're in spring at the moment and things are pretty calm. However, summer is fast approaching and besides having Chester to stay cool in the surface, going down to the ruins is something I'm really looking forward to. Unlike the rest of the map, ruins will actually still spawn completely full of monsters and even better, loot. However, to make it all the way down there, I will need an insane amount of food and not to forget, I also need something to heal with since I probably will be doing a lot of fighting. My only real option for food is monster meat and healing salves, but I really don't understand why I can't burn this silk. I mean, it's literally string. I'm not stressing too much about it though, because all around me I'm surrounded by sand. And of course, for some reason, that will burn. How does this make sense? Clay, please. How? But to add insult to injury, while doing this, I made a horrible discovery.
The pig doesn't respawn.
Day 55. So summer is finally here and it is hot. I want to make sure I take care of the ruins first, so I gathered up everything and headed down to the caves. A couple mushrooms will still spawn in the world, so I headed back up and picked some extra blue ones for healing, and as day 56 rolled around, I turned my sights toward the ruins. While I hadn't found the ruins on my first trip, following the muddy biome is one of the most straightforward ways to get to the ruins, passing the lone bunnyman hut that wasn't there, the monkey village with no monkeys, and the cheeseburger with no cheese. Wait, no, I don't think that was one. The ruins were looking ripe for the taking, so I headed in for some loot and then quickly ran back out. I don't have any head armor, so I dropped my backpack in favors of a log suit and started mining all the sculptures I saw. Things were very hectic and I was getting very few things other than red gems, but in reality, the only thing I really want is nightmare fuel. Now, unless you haven't noticed yet, nightmare creatures do not exist, and everything down here that I need to build takes a lot of nightmare fuel. I tried getting some by mining sculptures without gems, but I got very little. But then I had a brilliant idea of checking some of the chests in the maze deeper in the ruins that lead to the ancient guardian. Unfortunately, the maze was not around this part of the ruins, so I spent day 57 and 58 trying to find the maze and then taking a small break. And after gathering a bit more nightmare fuel, I finally found it. The maze. So we're in the maze, and checking the chest, this place will have some of the greatest loot, just having to be careful with the spider traps that will spawn from some of them. And as day 60 rolled around, I had found a fire staff, a bat, a good amount of nightmare fuel, and still I had half the maze to go. I kept exploring, but there wasn't really too much other things on the other side, and since I don't have the sanity to make balloons, I decided to put off fighting the ancient guardian for now. I do need to craft some crowns though, so I fought off some of the bishops around the fixed pseudoscience station, and then finally crafted our ruins loot using a construction amulet to save as much nightmare fuel as possible, and now back home we go. Day 63. So once again, we're in the surface. Our spider dens have been growing a lot the last couple days, so I farmed in to replenish our monster meat while being very careful with Chester, since if he dies and loses all his upgrades, I will either burn to death or drown myself in the ocean. Also, not to mention, Terrace would instantly die, and we really do not want that. After picking some tumbleweed to replenish our grass and twigs, I remembered the Oasis Desert was also literally right next door, and on day 65, we began fishing. Now, since summer is pretty slow and I don't really have much to do until I can get a good source of sanity, I started to do a lot of fish. And I mean a lot of fish. fishing. Day 68. Yeah, I might have gotten a little bit carried away. Day 69.
Nice.
Day 70. Nothing happened on day 70. Don't ask me. Forget it. Day 72. Well, I'm so happy. We've officially survived an entire year in a world with nothing but tumbleweeds enabled, and things are looking great. But we still have 29 more days to go, and to finish off, I want to make an amazing base. So I tried finding the tumbleweed spawners to try and get more grass and twigs.
I think I'm doing something wrong.
But that was pretty dumb. So instead, I started getting all the turf and marble I could find to decorate the base differently. We had to stop pretty abruptly though, because Terrace was not looking good. I used some of the gold from picking to feed him from all the trinkets we had got from the oasis, and then started gathering some more food for the big trip we were going to take next. Day 77. Now our second autumn is finally here, and we have actually gotten so much done. From going to the lunar island, looting the ruins, and even building a small forest. However, to really show this off, I want to make sure the base looks as good as possible, and so I started chopping down trees, digging up turf, building some walls, setting up everything for the base to look as good as we're doing. I then put down some stone walls to protect the base from tumbleweeds, and the base was looking great. However, I can't help but feel like something is missing. Day 78. Well, I figured out what the base needed, and after farming some more spiders and tumbleweeds, I realized the base was looking very simple and could use some more diversity from different biomes. And so I thought, what's more diverse than stuff from the Moonquay Island? And so with that in mind, I started gathering all the things I need for this trip. Day 86. And so we're off to the sea. The Moonquay Island is a very complicated place to find. My best option is to really just sail across the ocean and either get attacked by pirates or somehow magically stumble upon the island. Now, thankfully we have a lot of food and enough driftwood to sail for a couple of days, so taking long is really not that big of a...
I found the Moonquay Island.
Oh, okay. That was fast.
Oh, no.
Well, monkeys will only be out during the day.
We do a bit of tomfoolery.
So until the night, I decided to pay a visit to our favorite old granny.
We're here, Pearl.
Of course, Pearl was not happy to see us, but I was more than happy to see her.
A frickin' larpla.
As night came around though, I was back on the island, digging up the bushes, chopping down some trees, and robbing them blind.
We robbing them blind.
I showed off all my loot to Pearl the next
please
day.
Don't do that to me. Pearl, I'm sorry. I won't do it again, Pearl, I promise. I promise I won't do it again, Pearl.
And then one night later, we were back on the island, when I noticed something that completely rocked my world.
Wait, this thing has bananas. Just a run, we got freaking bananas.
For some reason, I thought bananas would not grow back, but after this, everything had changed. And after a quick trip down memory lane,
my science machine from freaking day 10. Wow, look how far we've came.
We were off to prepare for the final fight, day 91. Now with 9 days left, my last goal is to kill the Ancient Guardian. After finishing the base with all my loot from the monkeys, it's time for the real endgame. So first things first, I need to farm some spiders for the last time. Get some rocks from the caves, try not to freeze to death, put down a crock pot, burn down some turf for ashes to make our healing salves, and finally cook up our secret weapon. Day 100. And now it's time for the final fight. The first stage is simple enough. The Ancient Guardian is a worthy opponent, and with Terrace watching from the sidelines, the only thing that could take us down is our own incompetence. We start out pretty bad. The Ancient Guardian is really fast and takes our speedy balloon right out of our hands. However, I'm able to get in some good hits, even though it seems like he's able to hit us through the pillars. But we easily get him to the second stage, dodging a deadly stomp. In the second stage, the Guardian will spawn a lot of shadow tentacles that paired with his quick attacks can take you down in a matter of seconds. But then things took a horrible turn. It's the middle of winter down here, and without anything better than a thermal stone to stay warm, things were not looking good.
Terrace is so calm during this.
And it's now or never.
What the hell is this guy doing? Hutch! Terrace! I got Terrace!
I started taking a lot of damage almost instantly.
Oh, we're gonna take a lot of damage here.
For every blow that I land, I take just as much freezing damage, and any single hit from the Guardian or his tentacles is enough to bring this fight to an end. I have a lot of Glamour Group left, but things were not looking good. Terrace is watching our every move, and I can't let him down. Our suit is down to 11%, and with only 6 Glamour Group left, the Ancient Guardian launches for an attack just as I run to hide behind a pillar, and then... we did it.
Yo! Get the freaking backpack! Get the freaking backpack! Where's the backpack?
And all I have left to do is let Terrace free.
Be free, Terrace.
This took a lot of work. I'm gonna go to sleep now.